Welcome to Housing TV News at the top of the hour, coming to you from our studios here in the nation's capital, Abuja. I am Mary Agiobo. Our top stories. Federal government calls for stronger African naval partnerships. Federal government unveils solar mini-grid guidelines. Housing Minister begins nationwide project inspection. And on the foreign scene, United States, Iran exchange news strikes as peace talks stall. Now the news in details. The federal government has called for deeper collaboration among African navies to strengthen maritime security, protect critical sea routes, and enhance collective defense capabilities across the continent. Speaking at the opening of the 2026 Ceasefire for African Symposium in Lagos, government officials stressed the importance of regional cooperation in addressing emerging maritime threats, including piracy, illegal fishing, smuggling, and other transnational crimes affecting African waters. The event forms part of activities marking the Nigerian Navy's 70th anniversary celebration. Authorities noted that maritime security remains vital to economic growth, international trade, and the development of Africa's blue economy. They explained that naval forces play a critical role in safeguarding shipping lanes, protecting offshore assets, and ensuring the uninterrupted movement of goods across international waters. Stakeholders at the symposium also highlighted the growing role of technology in modern maritime operations. They urged African nations to leverage innovation, intelligence sharing systems, and advanced surveillance tools to improve maritime domain awareness and strengthen security coordination across the continent. Still on the federal government unveiling new national guidelines aimed at regulating the integration of solar mini-grids into Nigeria's electricity distribution network as part of efforts to expand access to reliable and sustainable energy. The framework, developed through collaboration between Nigerian authorities, the European Union, and the German government, establishes technical standards and operational procedures for connecting solar mini-grid systems to existing power infrastructure. Officials said the guidelines will promote safety, reliability, and efficiency within the electricity sector. In addition to the launch, advanced solar testing equipment was donated to support inspection and monitoring activities across the country. The equipment is expected to strengthen quality assurance processes and ensure compliance with established standards and as renewable energy projects continue to expand. Government officials noted that solar mini-grids have become increasingly important in providing electricity to underserved and off-grid communities. They expressed confidence that the new guidelines will attract greater investment, reduce regulatory uncertainty, and accelerate Nigeria's transition toward cleaner and more sustainable energy solutions. And now the Borno State government has intensified emergency response measures following a worsening cholera outbreak that has claimed at least 39 lives and affected thousands of residents across several local government areas. Health authorities disclosed that more than 4,000 suspected cases have been recorded, with hundreds of new infections reported within the last 24 hours. The outbreak has spread across multiple communities, placing additional pressure on healthcare facilities and emergency response teams working to contain the disease. Officials say emergency interventions have already been activated, including the deployment of rapid response teams, intensified public awareness campaigns, distribution of medical supplies, and increased coordination among health stakeholders. Surveillance activities have also been strengthened in identified hotspot communities to prevent further spread of the infection. However, residents have been urged to maintain proper hygiene practices, consume safe drinking water, and seek immediate medical attention if symptoms occur. The state government has also assured citizens that all necessary resources are being mobilized to contain the outbreak and protect public health. The Academic Staff Union of Polytechnics, Federal Polytechnic Ngodo Isuochi chapter, has issued a 21-day ultimatum to the institution's management over unresolved welfare concerns and alleged breaches of statutory obligations. Leaders say repeated attempts to engage management through dialogue and formal correspondence have failed to produce meaningful progress, creating growing dissatisfaction among academic staff. They warn that continued inaction could trigger industrial unrest and disrupt academic activities within the institution. Among the issues raised are concerns relating to staff access to healthcare, housing support programs, and the provision of adequate medical services. The union also cited delays in implementing welfare initiatives that it believes are essential to improving working conditions and staff productivity. The union has also called on the management to urgently address the outstanding issues within the stipulated period. It, however, warned that failure to do so could lead to the activation of lawful trade union measures, including industrial action aimed at compelling compliance with its demands. The Nigeria Union of Teachers has threatened to embark on a nationwide strike if urgent steps are not taken to secure the release of teachers and students abducted from schools in Oyo and Borno states. The union made its position known during a nationwide solidarity protest, expressing concern over the growing wave of attacks on educational institutions and the increasing vulnerability of teachers and learners. Labor leaders described the continued abduction of school children and educators as a serious threat to the country's education system. Meanwhile, union officials lamented that several victims remain in captivity weeks after their abduction, leaving families in distress and creating fear within school communities. They called on security agencies and government authorities to intensify rescue operations and secure the safe return of all those still being held. Meanwhile, leaders and religious leaders and civil society groups have also joined calls for stronger action against insecurity, with renewed demands for comprehensive reforms to protect schools and communities. Protesters insisted that ensuring the safety of students and teachers must remain a national priority to safeguard the future of education in Nigeria. We take a pause here, and up next are news stories from the build sector. Do stay with us.
Are you getting ready for another big one? The largest housing show in Africa. 2 decades of relentless exhibition and conference. The 20th edition of the Africa International Housing Show, happening from the 13th to 18th of July 2026 at the prestigious Transcorp Hilton Hotel, Abuja, Nigeria. This premier event is Africa's largest housing and construction expo, attracting over 50,000 attendees in Africa and beyond, thereby giving room for developers, construction giants, financiers, home interiors, mortgage and microfinance banks, drawing from about 21 different countries of the world. Get ready to be part of history.
You are still watching Housing TV News, and now to the build sector. The Lagos State government says it has completed 362 road projects spanning more than 300 kilometers as part of its ongoing drive to modernize infrastructure and improve urban mobility. Officials disclosed that several regeneration projects are being implemented across key districts, including Ikeja, Ikoyi, and Lagos Island, where aging infrastructure and environmental challenges had contributed to road deterioration. The projects are designed to enhance connectivity, improve traffic flow, and strengthen economic activities across the state. Government authorities stated that significant progress has also been recorded on strategic transport corridors and bridge projects aimed at addressing population growth and increasing transportation demands. Several completed projects are expected to be commissioned in the coming months, while construction continues on numerous orders across the state. The administration maintained that sustained investments in infrastructure remains essential to economic development and urban transformation. Despite rising construction costs and economic pressures, officials say the government remains committed to delivering projects that improve mobility, safety, and the quality of life for residents. Indigenous contractors working with the Federal Capital Territory Administration have appealed to authorities to approve payments for completed and certified projects executed under previously approved procurement arrangement. The contractors argued that the projects were awarded in line with established procurement regulations and were successfully completed according to approved specifications. They insist that all necessary certifications and verification processes were carried out by relevant departments before payment requests were submitted. According to the contractors, delays in settling outstanding obligations have created financial difficulties for many indigenous firms, affecting business operations and limiting their ability to undertake new projects. They warn that prolonged non-payments could have wider implications for service delivery and economic activity within the Federal Capital Territory. Meanwhile, the association is calling on the FCT administration to honor certified contractual obligations and ensure timely settlement of verified payment. Contractors maintain that projects completed before subsequent procurement policy changes should not be affected and deserve prompt financial consideration. And now the Minister of Housing and Urban Development has commenced a nationwide inspection of more than 15,000 housing units currently under development as part of the federal government's Renewed Hope Housing Program. The inspection exercise is aimed at assessing project progress, identifying implementation challenges, and ensuring that housing developments are completed according to approved timelines. Meanwhile, officials say the initiative reflects the government's commitment to improving accountability and accelerating the delivery of affordable homes to Nigerians. During visits to project sites, the minister emphasized the importance of verifying reports submitted by contractors and project managers to ensure that actual work on the ground corresponds with official records. He, however, noted that regular inspection would help eliminate delays and improve project delivery standards nationwide. However, beyond addressing Nigeria's housing deficit, the program is expected to generate employment opportunities and stimulate economic activity through the engagement of contractors, artisans, suppliers, and other stakeholders within the construction value chain. Government officials say the completed projects will provide housing opportunities for thousands of families while supporting broader economic development objectives. And now to the foreign scene. Tensions in the Middle East have escalated once again as the United States and Iran exchanged fresh military strikes amid stalled ceasefire negotiations aimed at ending months of conflicts in the region. The United States military announced that it carried out what it described as defensive operations against Iranian targets, including a military facility on Qassim Island near the strategic Strait of Hormuz. American officials stated that the action was taken in response to attempted attacks against United States interests and international maritime activities in the region. However, Iran said it has launched missile and drone attacks against American military assets in retaliation, warning that any effort to undermine security around the Strait of Hormuz will attract a strong response. However, the latest confrontation has renewed concerns over the security of one of the world's most important energy transit routes, through which a significant portion of global oil supplies passes daily. The escalation comes as diplomatic efforts to secure a ceasefire remain deadlocked. Analysts warn that continued hostilities could further destabilize the region, disrupt international trade and energy markets, and complicate efforts by global powers to restore peace through negotiations. And now Canada has formally requested renewal of the North American Free Trade Agreement with the United States and Mexico, setting the stage for fresh negotiations ahead of a key deadline for reviewing the trade pact. Canadian officials described the agreement as highly beneficial to the economies of all three countries, noting that it has played a critical role in supporting trade, investment, and job creation across North America. While seeking an extension, Canada also indicated its willingness to discuss reforms that could improve the effectiveness of the agreement. Among the issues expected to dominate negotiations are tariffs on steel, aluminium, automobiles and lumber, as well as market access concerns involving agricultural products. Meanwhile, trade officials from the three countries are also expected to discuss rules governing regional manufacturing content, particularly within the automotive sector. The talks come amid growing economic pressures and political debates over trade policy in North America. Meanwhile, observers say the outcome of the negotiations will have significant implications for regional competitiveness, supply chains, and economic growth across the continent. And now in Kenya, 2 people have reportedly lost their lives during protests in central Kenya over plans linked to the establishment of an Ebola isolation facility near a military installation. The demonstrations, which attracted hundreds of residents, saw protesters block roads and burn tires as tensions escalated in the area. Security forces were deployed to restore order, with reports indicating that tear gas was used to disperse crowds gathered around the protest site. The unrest highlights growing concerns among local communities regarding public health initiatives and the need for stronger engagement between authorities and residents. Health experts have repeatedly stressed that public trust and accurate information are essential components of any successful disease response strategy. Authorities have yet to provide full details surrounding the reported deaths, while investigations continue. Meanwhile, public health organizations are encouraging greater community participation and awareness campaigns to combat misinformation and strengthen confidence in disease prevention and response efforts. Again, we go on another short break. When we return, we'll receive stories from the world of business and the world of sports.
I'm Debbie Erb. I'm the founder of DLE Advisors, LLC. I just finished a really interesting session talking with the audience here at the International Housing Show. I have attended the show before, and I have to say it's bigger. It's bigger and better than it was 4 years ago. An incredible array of opportunities, companies, and new innovations in the housing space. So it's very exciting to be here. Thank you, Festus Adebayo. He's my guy. It's so well attended, and there's so many people here that I know who are movers and shakers in the industry. So I definitely recommend attending if you possibly can.
This is Housing TV News, and now to the world of business. The Central Bank of Nigeria has unveiled a revised foreign exchange framework aimed at improving transparency, efficiency, and confidence in the country's foreign exchange market. The updated foreign exchange manual, which takes effect this month, introduces new guidelines designed to standardize market operations, clarify documentation requirements, and strengthen accountability among financial institutions and market participants. The move is part of broader reforms intended to create a more predictable and rule-based foreign exchange environment. According to the Apex Bank, the revised framework reflects changes in both the domestic and global economy over the recent years, including exchange rate reforms, foreign exchange strategies, and evolving international trade dynamics. Officials believe the changes will reduce uncertainty and improve access to foreign exchange for businesses, investors, and other users. The manual also introduces greater flexibility for import transactions and international payments while maintaining safeguards against abuse. However, financial analysts revealed that the reforms could improve market confidence, support economic activity, and contribute to the long-term stability of Nigeria's foreign exchange system. And finally, from the world of sports. Nigeria's wrestling team has arrived in Mongolia to participate in the 2026 World Wrestling Third Ranking Series as part of efforts to strengthen the country's presence on the international wrestling stage. The 4-member delegation comprises talented athletes competing in different weight categories and is expected to face some of the world's top wrestlers during the tournament. Officials said the competition offers a valuable opportunity for the athletes to gain international exposure and improve their global rankings. Team officials, however, explained that earning ranking points remains a major objective of the campaign, as higher rankings could provide more favorable seedings at future international championships, including world-level competitions. The tournament is also expected to serve as an important platform for evaluating athletes' development and competitive readiness. Meanwhile, the Nigeria Wrestling Federation expressed confidence in the team's preparation and ability to perform strongly against elite opposition. Sports stakeholders say consistent participation in ranking events remains crucial to Nigeria's ambition of maintaining its status as one of Africa's leading wrestling nations. That's the size of our package, but before we go, let's take a recap of our top stories. Federal government unveils solar mini-grid guidelines. Housing Minister begins nationwide project inspection. On the foreign scene, United States-Iran exchange new strikes as peace stall. For more news in the housing sector, subscribe to Housing TV Africa on YouTube and follow Housing TV Africa on all social media platforms. Download the Housing TV Africa mobile app on Google Play Store, Apple Store, and you can also download the free TV app to follow our updates. I am Mary Agiobo. Bye for now.
Visit Housing TV Africa on YouTube and click on the subscribe button. Subscribe to Housing TV Africa to stay updated on latest happenings in Nigeria's housing sector. Follow our social media pages, like and share our posts on Facebook, Housing TV Africa, on Twitter, Housing TV Africa, Instagram, Housing TV Africa. Join the conversation and keep up with latest housing updates.